Ready?
Okay, tell me something about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Mike. Right now I'm married. I just recently got married about 7 months ago. My wife, her name's Lydia Neff. Right now I'm just looking in growing my career and my business.
Okay, awesome. How did you meet your wife?
Well, so I met her, we were actually friends in high school. We were friends in high school and then we were part of the same friend groups. We started dating. I went on a mission to Lima, Peru. I came home and we started talking. And it just started from there. It was awesome. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How did you hear about this position?
So I actually heard it from my friend, do you know McKay?
Oh, yes, McKay Dally.
Yeah, McKay Dally, yeah. So he was working here and he told me that you guys had positions open and that you're interested in finding someone who's looking at expanding the career. And so I thought it'd be an opportunity, just good chance for me to grow personally.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And why do you want to work here?
Here. So this is a solar company, and I've just always been super interested in technology, how it works, and I think it's just right now it's like super relevant with us, like solar panels going electric. It's something that's really good to know about. So first, it's just for personal knowledge, but also it's something that interests me, and it's a growing industry, and I get to be part of that growth, and I think it's just a good chance for me to learn.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you interested in the sales side of it, or what interests you within the business the most?
Well, so personally, I've had a lot of success in sales. I had the opportunity to be a leader of my zone in sales. There we got to triple the amount of sales that were made in our area. It's just super fun. I love that side of it. Right now I'm looking to one day I want to become a physical therapist, pretty far out in the future, but so for me I want to learn business and how it works, and so later on I think a management position, just learning that kind of position would be something super awesome. And I know I'd be starting in sales, but like I want to stay with you guys for a while so I can learn and grow. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then why did you decide to apply for this position particularly?
This position because I had experience in it. I have experience in sales, and it just is a good opportunity for me to learn. My buddy McKay, he says he just loves working for you guys. He says that the things he's learned here are super helpful for him. In that position, I heard that I would get the chance to learn a lot about the company and how it works, and so I thought it'd be a good spot for me to start out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what thing about sales do you like the most?
For me, I think it's personally meeting a lot of people. I think communication is one of the most important things, and I think in sales is where you can really learn that. You learn what things people like, what things people don't like, and later on, whenever you're working with people, teaching people, you apply those skills. And so it's just a lot of skills that you can learn and grow that apply everywhere in your life. And so that's why I thought this was a super cool opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever have any experiences in sales that you realized that your communication wasn't the best, that you learned like some lessons?
Yeah. Right off the top of my head is just being a pushy salesman. It's like in my last job, there was times where you had to reach a quota, right? And as a newer guy, it's sort of hard to do that. You don't know the techniques, the skills, and so what you do is you push, you try to so you can reach it because of that stress. And so I think for me that's a part where I sort of failed in my communication part of sales that I was learning and growing in. And so going through those experiences, I learned those things don't really work. There's different things you can do. Reaching out to more people or explaining things better that end up helping.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing. We'll jump to a different thing, different area. What is your greatest strength?
Greatest strength. I think for me, I enjoy being with people, talking to people, learning from them. And so I think that would probably be one of my greatest strengths. Is sometimes I'm not the best communicator, or I miss certain things, right? As everyone does, but I have that desire to go out and meet people and learn and communicate, and I just love the growth that comes out of that.
Awesome. And then what are your weaknesses?
My weaknesses. Well, like I said before, the pushy salesman. It's like when I'm newer at a job, sometimes I might do some things that weren't the smartest or that kind of idea, right? I lean into my own understanding sometimes more than reaching out to others. And so that's one thing that I'm trying to catch in myself and continually apply. Whenever I'm confused, have a question, instead of just going and doing what I think I need to do out of stress, it's communicating, learning from others, and applying those things that they teach me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think that acknowledging our weaknesses is important?
Why do I think acknowledging our weaknesses is important? That's a good question. Well, I think acknowledging our weaknesses allows us to know where we can grow. Someone who can't notice that, they can find growth, but it's limited because they didn't know they needed to grow.
Yeah.
I do think there's another side to it where you have to be careful in acknowledging too many of your weaknesses. You need to like hype yourself up sometimes, like, you know, bro, you got this. but like acknowledging them and finding ways to learn from those. I think that's why, just to keep yourself going and rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. What do you know about this company or organization?
So I did a little bit of research just because I was interested. It looks like it started about 14 years ago. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 14 years ago. From what I'd seen, a lot of solar companies, it looks like they're declining, just because it's a newer industry. But this one, I've seen that it's continued to grow. And so while the other companies are selling the same product, I realized this company must be doing something different that's allowing it to grow in an industry that's difficult to start up in. And so one thing I noticed is this company has taken an initiative, and they know the business side really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Why do you think that we should hire you?
Well, so like I said, in my last position, I found lots of success, and that's something that I think I can bring to you guys. I'll have a lot of things that I need to learn, but I have that desire to learn those things. I'm excited to learn your guys' business initiatives, your core values, what's helped you guys find growth, and then apply a little bit of what I've known, what I've learned in my past experience. There's certain techniques that I learned in forms of communication that I really would like to apply here, that I noticed those things were what allowed us to triple in sales. And so I believe that I can help you guys on that side. Obviously, first it would take me in learning the position and the people, but I think that I can help you guys grow this company.
Yeah. And why do you think learning is important, and how do you do with learning?
Learning.
New things, especially.
Well, I think personally, knowledge creates our reality, like who we are, what we are. Without learning, we can't become. And so learning is one of the most important things we can do. I think sometimes it takes like a little bit of growing pain to learn. I go through that. I think that's something that we all go through, but I think it's really cool that we get the chance to learn, because that means that we're becoming. And so I think just having me, like, what helped me in the learning process is just having that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. What is your greatest accomplishment?
My greatest accomplishment. Well, Well, so in my life, it would be marrying my wife, just like starting a family. That's something that's super important to me. And that'll always be my greatest accomplishment. Business wise, I would say it's learning different forms of communication. There's those quantitative numbers that you could give, but I think just the qualitative communication habits, I think that was my biggest accomplishment for myself that I felt.
Yeah, that's super important. What are your salary requirements?
So I know you guys have a baseline of about 30,000, and then the rest is commission. That's what I would be asking for in this job. Just the standard, what you guys can offer. I do have a desire to support my family, so I'll obviously be pushing to make more, but that'll be on my part with the commission and everything.
Yeah, that's good. Do you have any questions for us?
I guess for your company, what are the most important things for you guys to see in an employee?
Yeah. For us, I think some of the biggest things that we look for in our employees when we're hiring employees are just, I think, people's willingness to learn.
Okay.
And also their willingness to try new things. And if they are willing to change and do all of that, I think that is super important, because sometimes we have to change how we're going to do things.
Yeah.
Or we find different ways that are working better or worse, and when someone need to change some things, I think that's probably the biggest thing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah. And how long are you looking to be working for us?
So right now I'm in college right now. For me to do the profession I want, it will be at least 5 years. But for me personally, that's a dream of mine. And while I'm in school and while I'm working here, it's totally possible that I end up seeing a joy and a love in this field more than I do in that field of physical therapy. And so for me, I would definitely be here throughout all of school, so those 5 years, but it's possible that I just stick with this company if I end up seeing a love for it and I decide that I'd rather this over that other goal in my life.
Yeah. That's good to know.
Yeah.
What are you looking for from a new position?
I think for me personally, just the opportunity to learn. Just being able to grow and become something, I think that's for me more important than the resume aspects of the job or those applications. Just being able to learn and grow through the position is what's most important to me, I think.
Yeah. And have you had a lot of job experience in many different companies?
Yeah, so I spent a year as a lifeguard. I spent 3 years as a lifeguard, sorry. And then I spent 2 years as a salesman. And then I spent a year in another company doing sales.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Are you considering other positions in our company?
I think sales is my number one. My buddy McKay, he had a position in his department. It sounded interesting. I would be open to interviewing for it, but this is definitely my position that I'm wanting to go for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. And are you considering other positions in other companies?
So I did do interviews for other companies, other places that I applied for. But if this company ends up offering me an offer, this is ultimately my number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. What is the professional achievement you're most proud of?
Professional achievement, I think, was when I was a leader of my zone in tripling cells there. It was just fun and built a lot of confidence in me to have these ideas and these perspectives, get chosen for that job, and then apply those perspectives and see benefit from it. I think that's like one of the best feelings you can have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so true. And what kind of working environment do you work best in?
I think for me, it's really helpful to have one where there's lots of open communication. I've had companies where communication is a little bit lower, and I think that causes a lot of confusion, especially whenever you're starting out. It just helps to have people constantly helping you out, the communication being there. And so I think for me that's the most important.
Yeah.
The communication.
Yeah, what do you think you can add to our working environment?
So one thing I pride myself on is asking others for help when I need it. So I think one thing is just being the new guy in the position. When I have a question, I'll have millions of questions at the beginning, right? And I don't really have that fear of asking that question. And so I think for me, what I can bring is just that openness, and I think some people feel that shame whenever they don't know something, and so just the helping in that category. And then later on, I'll be able to help others along the way too.
Yeah, awesome. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, that depending on if I go with physical therapy or not, I'll either be working here or I'll be close to finishing my degree, and hopefully opening my own practice. And that's why I love this company, just because I've seen that it's growing in an industry that's sort of hard to grow in. And so I know that I would learn things on the business side that would help me with a future company.
Yeah. Cool. And then our last question, what would your first 30, 60, or 90 days look like in this role?
Okay. 30, 60, 90 days. I think my first 30 days, there would be a lot of like first learning the company, right? What does the company, what does it stand for? Learning the smaller little facts of it, right? And then also getting to know my colleagues. I think by day 60, I want to have known everyone's names and a little bit of personal information about them. And then most importantly, I'd like to know like sort of their work style, how they like to work, what things have helped them, how they feel most productive. And then I want to be able to understand the processes within the company. I think first is like learning like what things are and all of that. And then next is learning the processes, how things function and why they function that way. And then by day 90, I want to understand people, how they work, and be able to apply that. Say, oh, they like to work in this way. This would be a good job or something like that around that field for them. And then also being able to see the process, and if there's a way to fix the process, to give that input to someone. Just being able to understand the process to the point where I can help facilitate that process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.